dogs everywhere. When I was younger, my family had many dogs. Some of them were big and some of them were small. They were all different kinds of dogs. I always liked our big dogs more. They were smart and fun. Our small dogs were cute, but they weren't very smart. All of our dogs loved to play. They wanted to play all day. I like dogs, but now I don't want to have dogs. If you have dogs, you need to spend a lot of time with them. They need a lot of attention. In the US, people treat their dogs very well. They give them a lot of attention and they play with them a lot. Okay, now let's talk about cats. Some people like cats more than dogs, but I don't. I don't like cats at all. Actually, I'm allergic to cats, so I stay away from them. Many people like cats because they're independent. They don't need a lot of attention like dogs do. So, if you have a cat, it's easy. Also, cats are funny animals. There are many videos of cats doing very funny things. My family never had cats though. What about you? Do you prefer cats or dogs? Okay, now let's talk about other types of pets. In the US, some people like to have small pets, like hamsters or guinea pigs. These animals live in cages, so they're easy pets to have. You just need to feed them and clean their cage. I don't think these pets are very fun. They're a little boring in my opinion. But many people prefer these types of pets. I've never had a hamster or guinea pig before, but I ate a guinea pig when I was in Peru. In some countries, guinea pigs are food, not pets. Other types of pets include birds, bunny rabbits, fish, and reptiles. I had 3 fish when I was younger. 2 of these fish died pretty fast, but one of the fish lived for several years. Fish are boring pets, though. When I was very young, my family had a gecko. I liked to watch this gecko eat. It ate live crickets and worms. That was a cool pet. In the US, there are many animal shelters. An animal shelter is a place that takes care of animals that don't have owners. Most of these animals are dogs, of course. If you go to an animal shelter, you can adopt these animals if you want. My family adopted several dogs from these animal shelters. Some of these dogs were nice and fun, and some of these dogs were not very nice. My favorite pet was our first dog. She was very smart and she was beautiful. I played with her and I pet her every day. She lived with us for over 10 years. I miss that dog. If I get a pet in the future, it will be a dog. But I don't think I want a pet. Okay, that's all for today. Leave a comment and tell me if you have any pets. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. You ready? So today, I'm going to talk about New Year's resolutions. What is a New Year's resolution? This is a goal or an objective that you have for the next year. When it's the end of the year, some people make New Year's resolutions. They want to have a good year and do many things. Let's talk about some common resolutions. One common New Year's resolution is to lose weight. Many people plan to lose weight during the new year. This is a good resolution. It can help you be healthy. It's not easy to lose weight though. It can be difficult. You need to eat healthy food and you need to exercise. Many people go to the gym in January because their New Year's resolution is to lose weight. But not everyone reaches their goal. Many people quit. Okay, another common New Year's resolution is to study English more. This is a good New Year's resolution. Some people want to learn English to help their career. If you speak English, you can have better opportunities. For some jobs, you need to speak English. And for other jobs, you need to read and write in English. English is important for many jobs. Maybe English will help your career too. This year, my goal is also to study more languages. All right, another common New Year's resolution is to read more books. Some people are very busy, so they don't read a lot. Other people are not good at reading, but they want to improve. And some people don't like reading, but they need to read. Many people have the New Year's resolution to read more. I think that's good. I want to read more too. I want to read many books this year. How many books do you want to read this year? Maybe you can read books in English this year. That's a good resolution. Okay, another common New Year's resolution is to learn a new activity. This is a fun one. There are many activities that you can learn. Some people learn a new sport. Other people learn a skill. It's good to learn new things. Maybe you can take a class to learn something new. There are many classes that teach you different skills. You can look for classes in your city. Another common New Year's resolution is to quit smoking. This is not a fun resolution, but it's good. I don't smoke, so I don't need to quit. But I could stop other bad habits. For example, I eat a lot of sugar, so maybe I should eat less sugar this year. Or maybe I should eat more vegetables. These are good resolutions. There are many different New Year's resolutions. I think this is good because people want to accomplish goals. It's good to accomplish goals. Okay, that's all for today. Leave a comment and tell me if you have a resolution for this year. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. So today, I'm going to talk about summer. For some of you, it's summer now, and for others, it's winter. Here where I live, it's the summer season now. So first, let's talk about summer weather. In most countries, this is the hottest time of year. In cold countries, summer is the only time of year when it's hot. In tropical countries, there isn't much difference between the seasons, but summer is definitely hot. I really like hot, sunny weather. Some people don't like this weather, so they prefer other seasons. How about you? Do you prefer hot or cold weather? Also, in some places, summer is the rainy season. Where I live now, it rains a lot in the summer. I don't like this. I grew up in Southern California where it doesn't rain a lot. So, I'm used to blue skies and sunny weather. For me, rainy weather isn't fun. I like to go outside and do activities, but it's hard to do this when it's raining. Let's talk about some summer activities that people like to do. During the hot summer days, many people like going to the beach. The water is usually warmer during this season, so it's a good time to swim. Some people like to lie on the sand and enjoy the hot sun, but I don't do this. I sometimes like swimming at the beach, but I definitely don't sunbathe. I get sunburned very easily. Another thing that many Americans do in the summer is have barbecues. This season is perfect for barbecues because you can spend the afternoon outside with your family and friends. The kids can run around and play while the adults relax and talk. And of course, everyone enjoys eating good food at barbecues. I love eating hamburgers and hot dogs outside on warm summer days. Also, many Americans have swimming pools, so the summer months are a great time to use them. When I was a kid, my family always went in the pool during this time of year. I have great memories of playing with my sister and my friends in our pool. It's always fun to go in the pool during the summer. People who don't have swimming pools can go to public pools. In big cities, there are usually public swimming pools where you can go during the summer or during other months. One other popular summer activity in the US is camping. Summer is the perfect time to go camping because you don't get too cold at night. Usually, people sleep outside in tents when they camp, so it's better to do this activity when it's warm. I've camped in the summer and in the winter, but it's definitely better in the summer. A lot of people go hiking when they camp, which is also better in the summer, in my opinion. Alright, now let's talk about summer vacation. In the US, children usually have a long break from school during the summer. When I was in elementary school and middle school, I had 2.5 months of summer vacation. The school year ended in the middle of June, and the next school year began in September. This is a long break. I had time to do many things during these months. Many American children go to summer camp during this break. There are many types of summer camps where kids do fun activities, learn new things, and spend time outdoors. I went to a few sports summer camps when I was a kid. Also, many people travel during this season because children don't have to go to school. Summer is also a good time to travel because of the good weather. But the bad thing about traveling in the summer is that many touristic places are crowded at this time. This means that there are many people there. So, I prefer to travel during other seasons. Alright, now I'm gonna ask you some questions about the video to see if you understood. Write your answers in a comment down below. Number 1. What's one summer activity? Number 2. Where do people sleep when they go camping? And number 3. What's one bad thing about traveling during the summer? And of course, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Okay, today we're gonna talk about retirement. This is an interesting topic because retirement is different around the world. So, what is retirement? When you retire, it means that you stop working. You finish your career. So first, let's talk about the retirement age. In the US, the retirement age is 66 or 67. It depends on when you are born. However, this age might change in the future. When you turn 66 or 67 years old, you can stop working and get money from the government. In the US, this is called Social Security. The retirement age is different in different countries, but I think that it's usually 60-something in most countries. What's the retirement age in your country? In the US, the Social Security money that people receive isn't enough for most people. Life is expensive in the US, so people often save money or invest so they can retire. I think in most countries it's the same. The money that the government gives you when you retire isn't a lot. This means that people need to plan for retirement. So, let's talk about some ways to have more money when you retire. One thing you can do is save money. You can save a little money each month, and this amount will grow as time goes by. You should start saving when you're young. If you start saving when you're 60, you probably won't save a lot of money before you retire. And sometimes saving money isn't enough. Over time, there's always inflation. Inflation is when your currency loses value. So, if there's a lot of inflation, then your savings lose value too. This is why some people prefer to invest money. There are many different ways to invest money. You can invest in a retirement plan, the stock market, cryptocurrency, gold, silver, real estate, and other things. If you invest your money well, then you can make more money in the future. This can help you retire. One other important investment is investing in your children. If you have children, then you should invest a lot of time, money, energy, and love into them. If you do this, then your children will probably help you when you're older. It's much easier to retire when your children love you and want to help you out. Now, let's talk about what people do when they retire. In the US, there are many popular activities for retired people. One common activity is golf. If you go to a golf course in the US, you'll see many retirees. Another thing that many retired people do is travel. When people don't have to work, they have a lot of time to go places. Many people dream of retiring and traveling around the world. And one last activity that many retired people do is help take care of their grandchildren if they have grandchildren. This is a very important activity for many people. Grandparents love spending time with their grandchildren, and parents appreciate the help. And actually, some people never retire. Some people continue working their whole life. They might do this because they need the money, or they might just love working. How about you? Do you want to retire in the future? Or do you want to continue working when you're old? Okay, that's all for today. Remember to download my free listening time podcast. And if you want my advanced podcast, then become a listening time family member at patreon.com/listeningtime. Also, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Before we start, remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell. So today, I'm gonna talk about American sports. Many foreigners don't know much about American sports. That's why this is a good topic to discuss. I'm gonna talk about 3 American sports: basketball, baseball, and football. These are the most popular sports in the US. First, let's talk about basketball. Actually, this sport is popular in some other countries too. For example, it's popular in some European and Asian countries, but it's more popular in America. In the US, our professional basketball league is called the NBA. The NBA has 30 teams, 29 American teams, and 1 Canadian team, the Toronto Raptors. You probably know some of the famous NBA teams, like the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. When I was younger, I was a big Lakers fan. I started watching their games when I was 6 years old. My favorite players were Shaq and Kobe. You might know those names. So, the rules of basketball are pretty simple. You try to shoot the ball into the hoop and you defend your hoop. If you score from close, it's 2 points. If you score from far away, it's 3 points. And if you score a foul shot or free throw, it's 1 point. The team who scores more points wins. Easy, right? When I was a kid, I played basketball a lot. I was tall, so this really helped me. If you're tall, you have an advantage. Nowadays, I don't play basketball anymore. Okay, now let's talk about baseball. In the past, baseball was the most popular sport in America, but today, more Americans watch football. In the US, our professional baseball league is called the MLB. The MLB has 30 teams, just like the NBA. Baseball is popular in some countries outside the US. For example, people in the Caribbean love baseball, and it's also popular in some Asian countries. How about you? Do you like baseball? So, the rules of baseball are complicated. There's no time in baseball. We don't have 2 halves or 4 quarters. Instead, there are 9 innings. In each inning, both teams have the chance to play on offense and defense. I won't try to explain all the positions, but I will talk about the pitcher and batter. The pitcher is the person who throws the ball, and the batter is the person who hits the ball. The batter tries to hit the ball hard and far. The pitcher doesn't want the batter to hit the ball. There are many more rules, and they're very complicated. But if you watch a few baseball games, you'll start to understand. I'm not good at baseball, but I like going to baseball games. It's really fun to watch a baseball game in a baseball stadium. Okay, lastly, let's talk about football. Remember that in the US, football is not soccer. When we say football, we're talking about American football. Today, football is the most popular sport in America. More people watch football than any other sport. Nowadays, it's becoming popular in other countries too. Is American football popular in your country? So, the rules of football are really, really complicated, and the rules change often. If you don't know the rules of football, it can be hard to understand what's happening when you watch a game. However, the objective of the game is simple. You want to score more points than the other team. You can score touchdowns, which are 6 points. You can score field goals, which are 3 points. And you can score extra points, which are 1 point. One team is on offense and one team is on defense. The most important player is the quarterback. He's the player who throws the ball. And of course, the championship game is called the Super Bowl. This is a very popular event every year. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you some questions about the video to see if you understood. Write your answers in a comment down below. Number 1. How many Canadian teams are in the NBA? Number 2. In baseball, what does the batter do? And number 3. In football, Who is the most important player? Alright, remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram for more English tips and lessons. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Okay, today we're gonna talk about working from home. This is a good topic because many people work remotely nowadays. Working remotely means you don't work in an office. You stay home and you use your computer or other technology to work. I work from home and I think there are positives and negatives to this. Let's talk about them. First, let's start with the positives. If you work from home, you don't need to commute to work. You don't have to drive to work in the morning or drive back home in the evening. This is great because you don't have to worry about traffic. In the morning and in the evening, there are many cars on the road because many people are commuting to and from work. Some people get stuck in this traffic every day. This is one of my favorite things about working from home. It saves you a lot of time. Another thing is that you can feel more relaxed when you work from home. You can wear casual clothes, you can take breaks when you're tired, and you can work in any room. I feel pretty comfortable working from home. It's not too formal, and I feel free. If you work in an office, there are more rules and it's less comfortable. One other positive about working from home is being able to spend more time with your family. For example, if you have a break, you can go in the other room and spend time with your family. When you work at an office, you don't have your family with you, so you can't do this. I love eating breakfast or lunch with my family when I have breaks. This is probably the best part about working from home. I can spend a lot of time with my family on weekdays and weekends. Okay, now let's talk about the negatives of working from home. One bad thing is that it's easy to get distracted at home. For example, if you have young children at home with you, it can be hard to focus on your work. Children make noise and interrupt you while you're working. This is normal. So you have to learn to manage these situations and stay focused on your work. Another negative thing about working from home is that sometimes you don't know when to stop working. When you work at an office, you stop working when you leave the office. You know exactly when your workday is done. However, when you work from home, it can be hard to know when to stop each day. You don't have your boss there to tell you when to stop. One more negative thing about working from home is not having contact with other people. In general, it's important to talk and interact with other people. If you work from home, you only talk to your coworkers on the computer or on the phone. This is okay, but I think it's also good to interact with people in person. It feels good to be around people and to work with people. So, in general, I like working from home, but it's not perfect. Okay, that's all for today. Leave a comment and tell me if you like working from home. Before you go, remember to download the Listening Time podcast, and if you want to improve your listening, become a member at patreon.com/listeningtime to receive my listening practice seminars, sound training videos, and bonus podcast episodes. Also, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Okay, today we're gonna talk about breakfast. This is my favorite meal of the day, so I'm happy to talk about it. First, let's talk about breakfast in the US. Many people think that Americans eat a big breakfast every day. You've probably seen this in American movies and TV shows. You might see people eating eggs, bacon, sausage, pancakes, and more. However, most Americans don't eat a really big breakfast on weekdays. Many people don't have time to cook a big breakfast before they go to work. Actually, it's really common for people to just eat cereal. I did this a lot when I was a kid. But on weekends, people have more time to enjoy their breakfast in the morning. So people might eat the type of breakfast that you see in the movies. I remember when I was a kid, my mom cooked more creative breakfasts on Saturdays and Sundays. My favorite breakfast that my mom cooked was crepes. I still remember how amazing they tasted. It's also common for Americans to go out for breakfast on weekends. Breakfast restaurants are really crowded on Saturday and Sunday mornings. And we also love enjoying a nice breakfast when we're on vacation. Basically, when we have the time, we love to eat a good breakfast. In many other countries, people don't eat a lot for breakfast. I remember when I was in Europe, I saw many people having only a little sweet bread and coffee for breakfast. This definitely isn't enough for me. But for other people, this is enough. I think that in many countries, breakfast isn't an important meal. Lunch and dinner are usually more important. In the US, some people say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. What do you think? What's the most important meal of the day for you? Now, let me describe my typical breakfast. Normally, on weekdays, I eat eggs, bacon, and fruit. I love the combination of bacon and eggs. They go together perfectly. I don't get tired of this food, even if I eat it every day. Of course, I always buy fresh and organic eggs, bacon, and fruit. This is really important for me. And on weekends, I often go to restaurants to eat breakfast. I love going out to eat breakfast. There are a lot of amazing breakfast restaurants where I live, so I have many options. I usually eat different breakfast foods at restaurants. One of my favorite breakfasts is a Mexican dish called chilaquiles. I order this food all the time. And I also really like sweet breakfast foods like French toast, pancakes, and sweet bread. As you can see, I love breakfast in general. One other thing that I sometimes have for breakfast is coffee. I don't drink coffee every day, and I don't really like caffeine, but I really like warm drinks. So I often order coffee or hot chocolate when I eat breakfast at restaurants. I know some people that need coffee in the morning. If they don't have coffee, then they can't start their day. I'm not like this. I sometimes have coffee with my breakfast, but it's not necessary. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you eat for breakfast. Remember to download my free listening time podcast and become a member at patreon.com/listeningtime to receive my specialized training, which will help you understand native speakers. And if you want to reach an advanced level of listening, then become a Listening Time family member so you can train your listening with my advanced podcast episodes. Also, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Okay, today we're gonna talk about winter. This isn't my favorite topic because I prefer other seasons. But it's winter now, so let's talk about it. In most places, the weather is cold during winter. I don't live in a very cold area, but I still feel uncomfortable during this season. I don't have a heating system in my apartment. This means that my apartment isn't warm during winter. So we have to use extra blankets and wear warm clothes inside. And of course, every time we go outside, we have to wear warm clothes too. In my city, we often have cloudy weather or sometimes rainy weather during this season. I don't like this, but the worst part of winter is that the days are shorter. The sun goes down really early. Normally, in the summer, the sun sets around 7:30 or 8 p.m. in my city. However, in December, it sets before 5 p.m. Many people don't like this because they don't have many opportunities to enjoy the sunlight. When they finish working, it's already dark outside. This can be depressing. I try to start working early in the morning so I can finish early. This way, I can have some hours of sunlight after I'm done with work. In general, I love the sun, so I prefer long summer days, not short winter days. Okay, now let's talk about some winter activities. Of course, some of the funnest winter activities involve snow or ice. For example, it's common to go skiing or snowboarding during this time. In the US, there are many ski resorts where people can practice these sports. If you don't know how to ski or snowboard, you can also try sledding. Sledding is the activity where you sit on something and slide down a hill. It's easy and fun. Another fun thing you can do in the snow is have a snowball fight. This is where you throw balls of snow at other people. Everyone likes throwing snowballs at people. One other winter sport is ice skating. There are many places to ice skate in the US, even in the middle of big cities. I'm terrible at ice skating, but I still think it's fun. The only bad part is when you fall, because it hurts. Trust me. Okay, now let's talk about winter holidays and traditions. For me, the best part of winter is Christmas. I don't usually like holidays, but I love Christmas. My family had several Christmas traditions that I'll always remember. For example, we always decorated the Christmas tree together with the same ornaments every year. Another tradition that I like is going to see the beautiful lights and decorations in different neighborhoods. I'm excited to start new Christmas traditions with my own family. Many people around the world also celebrate New Year's Eve. In the US, a lot of people turn on the TV to watch the New Year's Eve party in New York City. I did this when I was younger. But nowadays, this holiday isn't really important to me. I like Christmas, but not New Year's Eve. However, when I'm with my wife's family, I have to celebrate this holiday with them. Okay, that's all for today. Leave a comment and tell me your favorite thing about winter. Before you go, remember to download the Listening Time podcast and become a member at patreon.com/listeningtime to receive my listening practice seminars. Also, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. So today, I'm gonna talk about productivity. This is a great topic to talk about because everybody wants to be productive. What does productivity mean? If you're productive, it means you produce a lot. It means that you see good results from your effort or work. So, let's talk about some ways we can be productive. The first way we can be productive is by waking up early. I know that many of you don't like this advice. Not many people like waking up early. I wake up pretty early, but it's not easy for me. I usually wake up at 6 a.m. every day. This is early, but some people wake up earlier than me, like at 5 a.m. I wake up early so I can be more productive every day. My official work starts at 7:30 a.m., but since I wake up at 6, I can do more things before I start working. For example, I read a little bit in the morning and I study languages. I usually read for about 15 minutes and I can study languages for about 50 minutes. If I don't do this in the morning, I might not have time to do it later. So, I do all this before my work starts. I'm pretty productive in the morning. How about you? Are you productive in the morning? Okay, another way we can be productive is by removing distractions. A distraction is something that doesn't let you focus on your work. For example, if you're trying to work and you hear dogs barking outside, that might make you lose focus. Some distractions are hard to remove, like your neighbor's dog, but other distractions are easy to remove. For instance, you can silence your cell phone. If you hear your phone vibrate or ring, you usually want to look at your phone. When my phone vibrates, I sometimes get distracted. If you want to remove this distraction, you can put your phone on silent or on airplane mode. For some people, this is hard. Some people don't want to ignore their phone calls and messages. They think that it's very important to check their phone. This might be true, but it's also important to finish your work. If you silence your phone, it can help you finish your work faster. So, removing distractions like this can be very helpful. Okay, another way we can be more productive is by making sure that we're comfortable when we work. For example, if you're in an uncomfortable chair, or if you feel hot or cold, you might be less productive when you're working. In my case, I don't work well if my chair is uncomfortable. Usually, my back hurts and I want to change positions. So, I need to sit in a comfortable chair when I work. Sometimes I sit on my couch when I work because it's comfortable there. This helps me be more productive. All right, one more way that we can be productive is by setting goals. In my opinion, this is the best way to be productive. If you set goals for yourself, you feel motivated to work. You want to achieve your goals. I always set goals for myself to help me be productive. It's good to set short term and long term goals. A short term goal is a goal you want to achieve soon. A long term goal is a goal you want to achieve after a long time. You can set short term and long term goals to help you learn English. For example, maybe your short term goal is to watch all my A1 listening practice videos by next month. And maybe your long term goal can be to read a whole book in English by the end of the year. You can set many types of goals for yourself. I like to set daily goals too. This helps me be productive every day. For instance, each day, my goal is to practice my listening in French for 1 hour. Every day when I complete this hour, I feel great. I know that I accomplished my goal. Okay, I hope you can use these tips to help you be more productive. Now, I'm gonna ask you some questions about the video to see if you understood. Write your answers in a comment down below. Number 1. What's one activity I do before I start my work in the morning? Number 2. What's one thing that can distract us from our work? And number 3. What are two types of goals that we can set? Alright, remember to sign up for our $1 listening practice seminars if you need more listening practice. And remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. So today, I'm gonna talk about chores. What are chores? These are routine tasks that you have to do. And usually, when we say chores, we're talking about tasks you have to do at home. People need to do many chores at home every week. Adults do chores and many kids do chores too. This isn't the funnest topic, but it's an important one, and you'll probably learn some new words in this video. So, when I was a kid, I did a few different chores at home. I was lucky because I didn't have to do a lot. Some of my friends did many chores. I remember that my neighbor did many different tasks for hours every weekend. He cleaned many parts of his house, his front yard, and his backyard. I didn't do that much. But, for example, I had to clean my room often. This is one chore that most children need to do. We're responsible for our bedroom. We have to organize things and put things away. The phrase put things away means that you put things where they belong, like the closet, dresser, or desk. When I was a kid, I liked keeping my room organized. I never left my toys or clothes on the floor. Another chore that I did was take the trash out. When the trash bags were full, I took them to our big trash bins. These are the big containers where you put trash. In the US, the garbage truck comes once a week to collect your trash. So, I had to take the trash bins to the curb the night before. The curb is the edge of the sidewalk next to the street. Nowadays, I still take the trash out every week. I don't mind this chore. It's easy for me. But one chore I don't like is cleaning the bathroom. This was the worst thing I had to do when I was young. I'm not good at things like this, and it always took me a long time to finish. In particular, I hated cleaning the toilet. I always thought this was a little gross or disgusting. How about you? Do you like cleaning the bathroom? The easiest chore that I did as a kid was bringing the newspaper inside. Every morning, I went out to get the newspaper, which was always on the ground in front of our house. I always brought it inside for my parents. But nowadays, fewer people read physical newspapers, so it's not the same. I don't see many newspapers in front of people's houses. One other chore that I had to do was skin the pool. Skim the pool means to clean the surface or top of the water. My family had a pool in the backyard and it got pretty dirty. There were always leaves, bugs, and other things, so I had to skim the pool. Okay, so one other important thing about chores is that children usually earn an allowance when they do them. An allowance is money that parents give to their children. Usually, if children do all their chores, they get this reward. I earned a little allowance when I was a kid. I used this money to buy things that I wanted. Many parents like giving their children an allowance because it teaches them that hard work pays off. This means that if you work hard, you'll get a reward afterwards. It also teaches children that everyone has to work if they want to make money. You can't earn money if you don't do anything. So, with chores and allowance, children learn responsibility and they learn how to work hard. In the future, I want my kids to do chores so they can learn these lessons too. Alright, now I'm gonna ask you some questions about the video to see if you understood. Write your answers in a comment down below. Number 1. What's one chore that I don't like? Number 2. What does skim the pool mean? And number 3. What does it mean when we say that hard work pays off? Okay, before we go, remember to sign up for our $1 listening practice seminars and download the free Listening Time podcast so you can practice your listening skills. And of course, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. So today, I'm gonna talk about the English language. This is an important topic for all of you because you're all learning English. In this video, I'm gonna give you some interesting facts about the English language. This should be fun. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is how many people speak this language. Well, almost 400 million people speak English as their first language. These people are native English speakers. Most of these speakers are in the US, of course, but there are many other English-speaking countries. Obviously, countries like the UK, Australia, Canada, and Ireland speak English, but there are also a lot of other countries where people speak English. For example, English is the major language of Belize, Guyana, Jamaica, the Bahamas, and other countries too. There are a lot of English-speaking countries. Also, many people around the world speak English as their second language. In every country, there are people who are learning English. As a teacher, I taught students from over 80 different countries. Cool, huh? We don't know exactly how many people speak English as a second language, but there are a lot. Okay, now let's talk about the history of English. The first form of English appeared in the 5th century AD. Today, we call this Early English, Old English. Old English was very different from modern English. I can't understand Old English. In the 11th century, Old English became Middle English. Middle English is a little closer to modern English, but it's still very different. Finally, modern English began at the end of the 14th century. But English continues to change, so today's English looks a little different from the English of the past few centuries. Another important thing to know about English is that other languages have influenced it a lot. So, which languages? Well, for example, some experts say that almost 30% of English words come from Latin, and almost 30% of English words come directly from French. That means that almost 60% of modern English words come from Latin or French. That's a big influence. Also, around 6% of English words come from Greek, and there are many words from other languages too. But what language family does English belong to? English is a Germanic language. That means English is related to languages such as German, Dutch, and Swedish. However, English speakers can't understand these other languages. If I hear German or Dutch, I don't understand anything. English is related to these languages, but they're very different. For example, Americans who only speak English can usually understand much more Spanish than German. That seems strange because English and Spanish are not related, but English and German are related. The reason why English speakers can understand many words from Spanish, French, or Italian is because these languages have many cognates. Cognates are words that have the same origin. For example, in English, we have the word patience, and in Spanish, this word is paciencia. These words look very similar because they're cognates. So, if an English speaker hears the Spanish word paciencia, they can probably understand the meaning. Okay, one last interesting thing about English is that it has many, many words. Some people say that English is the language with the most words. I think this is probably true because English has taken many words from other languages, like I said before. Alright, now I'm gonna ask you some questions about the video to see if you understood. Write your answers in a comment down below. Number 1. When did Old English appear? Number 2. What language family does English belong to? And number 3. What are cognates? Okay, before we go, remember to sign up for our $1 listening practice seminars and download our free listening time podcast to practice your listening skills. And of course, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Before we start, remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell. You ready? So today, I'm gonna talk about money. This is a really important topic because money is a big part of our lives. So first, let's talk about currencies. A currency is the type of money that a country uses. For example, the currency of the US is the dollar, and the currency of Mexico is the peso. Every country uses a currency to buy and sell things. Some currencies are very valuable, and other currencies are not very valuable. For example, today, $1 is worth 22 Mexican pesos. The dollar is more valuable right now. So, what currency does your country use? Okay, now let's talk about prices. In the US, most things are expensive. They cost a lot of money. In other countries, things are cheap. They don't cost a lot of money. For example, in the US, the average price of a house is about $250,000. But in Mexico, the average price of a house is probably around $40,000. That's a big difference, huh? Prices are very different in different countries. Another major difference is with salaries. The salaries in some countries are high, and the salaries in other countries are low. In the US, salaries are pretty high. Americans need to make a lot of money because life is expensive in the US. In some countries, people don't need a lot of money to live. But Everyone needs some money to survive. Okay, now let's talk about spending and saving money. Some people really like spending money, and other people prefer saving more money. Different people have different habits. My family always liked saving money. My mom taught me to always save some of my money. So today, I try to save some of the money I earn. It's not always easy to save, though. You have to be careful with your money because it's easy to spend too much. I know many people that don't save money. They always spend their money on clothes, electronics, vacations, and other things. I spend money on these things, but not all my money. But some people spend all their money because they want to enjoy the moment. I don't think I could do this. I think it's good to enjoy the moment, but it's also good to plan for the future. One other thing that people do with their money is invest. You can invest in many different things, like the stock market, real estate, currencies, or gold. Many Americans invest their money. They want to use this money to make more money in the future. In some countries, investing is not very popular, or sometimes they don't have good investment options. You need to be careful when you invest your money because not all investment options are good. Some investments are bad, and you can lose money. Overall, people have many different ways to manage their money. Alright, that's all for today. Leave a comment and tell me if you like spending, saving, or investing money. And remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram for more English tips and lessons. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Before we start, remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell. You ready? So today, I'm gonna talk about education. This is an essential topic because education is an important part of our lives. Most people get some kind of education. Education is different in different countries, but today we'll talk about education in the US. So first, let's talk about the different levels of education in the US. The first level of education is preschool. In the US, kids go to preschool when they're 4 years old. But not everyone goes to preschool. Some people don't go. I went to preschool when I was 4. I didn't like it because I was very shy. I didn't like playing with other kids when I was young. In preschool, children play a lot, but they also learn. After preschool, children go to kindergarten. Usually, kids start kindergarten when they're 5 years old. In kindergarten, children start learning more things. For example, they learn to read, write, and make art. They also learn how to be good students. I remember that when I was in kindergarten, we had discipline. If we did something bad, we got in trouble. I never got in trouble because I was a good student. So, after kindergarten, you go to elementary school. In the US, most elementary schools include first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. But some elementary schools don't include sixth grade. In each year of elementary school, you only have one teacher. You have the same teacher all year. In my opinion, elementary school isn't that difficult in the US. Of course, you get homework, but it's not too much. In elementary school, you learn many things like math, science, history, and English. At this level, you spend about 6 hours at school. Then, after elementary school, you go to middle school or junior high. I say middle school, but both of these names are correct. Middle school usually includes 7th and 8th grade. At this level, students have many teachers, like 6 or 7. I had 6 different classes each year in middle school. Each class was 1 hour long. I didn't like middle school. It's much harder than elementary school. You get more homework and you have more tests. Then, after middle school, you go to high school. In the US, high school includes 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. This is the most important time for students in the US. If you want to go to college, then it's important to do well in high school. High school can be difficult, but it depends on your teachers. Some teachers give a lot of homework, and some teachers don't. And some teachers are good at teaching, and some teachers aren't. I had some good teachers in high school, but I also had some bad teachers. So, after high school, some people go to college and some people don't. Of course, there are different levels of university, and you can earn different degrees there. Okay, so lastly, let's look at a few important vocabulary words related to education. First, let's talk about the word grades. We use the word grades to talk about how well you did in a class or on a test. In the US, these grades are A, B, C, D, and F. An A grade is the best, and an F grade is the worst. Okay, the next word is recess. In the US, recess is the short break that elementary school students have during their school day. During recess, students play, talk, or eat a snack. This break is usually 20 or 30 minutes. Okay, the last phrase you should learn is bachelor's degree. A bachelor's degree is the degree you get after 4 years of university. It's lower than a master's degree. Alright, that's all for today. Leave a comment and tell me about your education. And remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram for more English tips and lessons. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Before we start, remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell. You ready? So today, I'm gonna talk about the supermarket. This is a useful topic because most people buy food from supermarkets. One important note. In the US, many people use the phrase grocery store instead of supermarket. I usually say grocery store, but you can use both. So, first, let's talk about big supermarkets. The most famous supermarket is Walmart. Walmart is really big and sells many items. They sell food, clothes, electronics, furniture, and much more. Walmart has everything. In big supermarkets, there are a lot of cheap items. Personally, I don't like big supermarkets. I prefer smaller supermarkets because they often have better products. I like to buy organic food, so I search for small organic stores. These stores are usually more expensive than big supermarkets. Organic food is more expensive than non-organic food. but I think it's worth the price. In big supermarkets, I can't find the products I like. That's why I go to small local stores. There are also some very small supermarkets too. We call these convenience stores. For example, 7-Eleven is a convenience store. These stores sell some food and drinks, but they don't have a lot of items. I go to convenience stores when I need to buy just one or two items, but I don't usually shop at convenience stores. They don't have all the items that I need. How about you? Do you prefer big supermarkets, small supermarkets, or convenience stores? Some people don't go to supermarkets. They buy their groceries online. Nowadays, you can buy everything online. You order it, and someone brings it to your house. This is becoming a popular option. I order some items online, but I don't order food online. Okay, now let's learn some important supermarket vocabulary. Our first vocabulary word is cart. When you enter a grocery store, you grab a cart. You put all of your items in your cart while you're shopping. Or if you're only buying a few items, you can use a basket, which you carry. Our next word is aisle. Aisles are the rows of products in a store. You walk up and down the aisles when you go shopping. The next phrase is on sale. When an item is on sale, this means that it has a lower price than normal. I love when items are on sale. Okay, one more word. Cashier. The cashier is the person that you pay when you're done shopping. In the US, cashiers are usually friendly. Nowadays, in some supermarkets, you can pay without a cashier. This is called self-checkout. Some people prefer cashiers, and other people prefer the self-checkout option. I like both options. Alright, that's all for today. Leave a comment and tell me where you buy your food. And remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram for more English tips and lessons. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Okay, today we're gonna talk about some more countries. Last time I told you about my experience in Mexico, France, Portugal, and Spain. Today I want to tell you about a few other countries that I've been to. Let me start with Italy. I spent 2 weeks in Italy in 2019. This was probably my favorite trip. I had the opportunity to go to many cities and towns in this country. I started my trip in Bologna, which was a great experience. I had some really delicious food in this city, and it was my first time eating at a real Italian restaurant. I'll never forget it. I had a few different local dishes which were incredible. Also, I ate the best ice cream ever when I was in this city. Next, I went to Florence, which was one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen. I'm sure that some of you agree with me. Then we rented a car and drove through Tuscany. This was an awesome road trip. We drove through beautiful hills, fields, and vineyards. This was my favorite region of Italy. It's so unique there. There's no other place like it. Lastly, we went to Rome and enjoyed the amazing history there. Of course, we loved going to the Colosseum and seeing the ancient buildings there. Okay, now let me talk a little bit about Peru. I went to Peru with a friend in 2018 to see Machu Picchu. Everyone wants to see Machu Picchu, right? So we stayed in the city of Cusco and took some different tours of the area. We saw some interesting ruins around Cusco, and we really enjoyed the beautiful nature there. And the city of Cusco is also a cool place to explore. But of course, the best part of the trip was seeing Machu Picchu. This ancient city is hidden in the mountains and it's not easy to get there. We had to take two buses and a train to arrive there, but it was worth it. The view of Machu Picchu from above was incredible. We sat for a long time just looking at the city. I couldn't believe that I was there. We didn't take a tour, but there were many tours when we were there, so we heard some tour guides talking about the history of Machu Picchu. Then we walked around the city and explored the different parts. This experience was completely unique and I'll never forget it. Okay, lastly, I'm just gonna say a few things about the UK, specifically London. I only stayed in London for one day before I flew to Italy, so I saw very little. But I walked a lot during that short time and I loved the city. The weather was nice when I was there, so I watched the sunset from the river. I also went to my first Christmas market there. So, even though I was only there for one day, I really liked it. I was sad that I couldn't stay longer. Maybe in the future I'll be able to go back. So, now you know the different countries that I've traveled to. Leave a comment and tell me if you've traveled to any of these countries. Before you go, remember to download the Listening Time podcast and become a member at patreon.com/listeningtime to receive my specialized training, which will help you understand native speakers. And if you want my advanced podcast, then become a Listening Time family member. Also, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Okay, today we're gonna talk about some different countries. And specifically, I'm gonna talk about some countries that I've traveled to. This video will have a part 2 so I can talk more about these countries. So, the first country I want to talk about is Mexico. This is where I live. Mexico has almost 130 million people. It's a big country. I've been to many different cities here. Some of my favorite cities are Guadalajara, Guanajuato, and Mexico City. Mexico also has some really beautiful nature. People love traveling to Mexico to spend some time at the beach because there are some amazing beaches here. The water is really warm and so is the weather. Okay, next I want to talk about France. This is the first country that I ever traveled to in Europe, but unfortunately, I've only been to Paris. I haven't been to any other cities there. However, I love the city of Paris. Since one of my favorite activities is walking, Paris is the perfect city for me to travel to. You could walk for days and days throughout the city without getting bored. I think Paris is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I love the architecture, the history, and the general feeling of the city. There are so many nice places to see there. But I know that there are a lot of other interesting places to visit in France. I hope that I can travel all around the country in the future. Okay, next, I want to talk about Portugal. I had the opportunity to spend 2 weeks in this awesome country. I went to 3 different cities when I was there: Lisbon, Porto, and Braga. The capital, Lisbon, is a really interesting place to visit. I especially loved walking through the old parts of the city. And the city of Porto was one of my favorite cities that I visited. It's one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen. I loved watching the sun go down over the river in the evening, and I really enjoyed taking a boat on the river too. Overall, I thought Portugal was a fantastic country to travel to, and I recommend it to you. Lastly, let's talk about Spain. I spent more than 2 weeks in Spain, and I visited 6 different cities. The first places we visited in Spain were in the south of the country. The south of Spain is really unique. The culture there is a little different from the culture in the other parts of Spain. I really enjoyed my time in Sevilla and Granada, and I would love to go back. I also really liked Madrid, but I only stayed there for 2 nights. If I go back to Spain, I'm definitely gonna spend more time in this city. It was also cool to travel along the Mediterranean coast. We took a train from Valencia to Barcelona, and we really enjoyed the view. I think that a lot of people want to live in Spain because of the sea, the weather, and the food. By the way, I loved the ham that I ate in Spain. They have the best ham in the world. Okay, that's all for today. I'll make a part 2 to this video, and I'll talk about a few other countries that I've traveled to. Remember to download my free listening time podcast and become a member at patreon.com/listeningtime to receive my specialized training to help you understand native speakers. And if you want to reach an advanced level of listening, then become a Listening Time family member to receive my advanced podcast. The link is in the description below this video. Also, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Before we start, remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell. You ready? So today, I'm gonna talk about free time. This is a good topic because everyone enjoys having free time. I love having free time, and you probably do too. So, first, let's talk about how much free time people have. Most children have more free time than adults. When you're a kid, you don't have the responsibilities that an adult has. Adults have to work, pay the bills, and take care of their children. Kids usually don't have to do these things. Kids usually have to go to school and do homework. This can be difficult, but it's usually not that difficult. So, children have more free time. When I was a kid, I had a lot of free time. I got home from school around 2 or 3 p.m., and after that, I played a lot. On weekdays, from Monday to Friday, I probably had around 4 or 5 hours of free time each day. Sometimes I got bored because I had so much free time, but as I got older, I had more homework each year. So, each year, I had a little less free time. I didn't have too much homework though. In the US, we don't get that much homework. In some other countries, children have a lot of homework. I'm glad that my schoolwork wasn't very hard. On weekends, I had even more free time. On Saturday and Sunday, I did many activities. Weekends were the best because I had all day to play and rest. I really liked weekends, and I still do. Now that I'm an adult, I don't have a lot of free time. I have to work and do many other things. I usually start working early, like at 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. So, I have to wake up around 6 a.m. When I was a kid, I slept more. I usually slept for 8 hours every night. As an adult, I don't sleep 8 hours every night. I usually get 7 hours or 7.5 hours of sleep. How about you? How many hours of sleep do you get? So, after I finish work, I have some free time in the evening. However, I usually do some extra work or study during this time. I have to make these YouTube videos and Instagram videos, and I also study foreign languages. At night, I have some free time to just relax. My wife and I spend the evenings together and enjoy this time. Okay, now let's talk about some popular activities that people do in their free time. For example, many people like to play sports or exercise in their free time. When I was a kid, I played a lot of sports. I played basketball, baseball, tennis, soccer, football, and golf. I really liked playing sports in my free time. But as an adult, I don't play any sports. I'm not very interested in playing sports nowadays. However, I exercise in my free time. I work out almost every day, but just for a short time. Other people spend a lot of time exercising. So, another activity that people do in their free time is watch TV shows and movies. Many people do this in their free time. I know some people who watch many hours of TV every day. I don't watch a lot of TV or movies. I really like playing games in my free time. I play chess online, but I'm not very good. I also like playing board games with my family. We play games like Catan and Codenames. Do you like playing board games? One last activity that most people do in their free time is surf the internet. This is probably the most common activity that people do. I spend a lot of time on the internet. Some days I spend too much time on the internet. It's not good to spend all day inside on the computer. We should try to go outside and do other activities too. But the internet is very entertaining, so it's easy to spend many hours surfing the web. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you some questions about the video to see if you understood. Write your answers in a comment down below. Number 1. What time did I get home from school when I was a kid? Number 2. How many hours do I sleep each night? Number 3. What game do I like playing online? Alright, remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram for more English tips and lessons. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Before we start, remember to subscribe to the channel. So today, I'm gonna talk about the internet. This is a very relevant topic because all of us use the internet. If you're watching this video, that means you're using the internet. The internet is a really important invention. Can you imagine your life without it? I can't. So, let's talk about the history, the use, the positives, and the negatives of the internet. The first version of the internet was created in the 1960s. This was a prototype. A prototype is an early model of a product. So, the prototype of the internet was the early version of the internet. It was created in the US. The US government started this project, but that internet wasn't the same as today's internet. The World Wide Web was created in 1989. People didn't have the internet at home until later. For example, my family started using the internet around the year 2000. How about you? When did you start using the internet? Okay, now let's talk about the benefits of the internet. The internet is one of the most important inventions. It changed the world. Before the internet, there were fewer ways to communicate with people who were far away. You could call them on the phone, or you could write them a letter. I remember writing letters when I was a kid, but nowadays, most people don't write letters anymore. We write emails or we send text messages. Thanks to the internet, we can send messages instantly. So, communication is faster and easier. Nowadays, many people can have long distance relationships because of the internet. You can talk to your boyfriend or girlfriend for free using Skype or other apps. For that reason, it's easier to have a long distance relationship nowadays. It's still hard, of course, but the internet makes it a little easier. Another benefit of the internet is the information it contains. You can find anything and everything on the internet. If you want to learn about something, it's super easy. You just need to search for that subject on the internet. There are so many useful resources online. Okay, now let's talk about some of the negative effects of the internet. For example, there is a lot of bad content on the internet. Not everything is good and helpful. There are a lot of things online that we should avoid. Parents need to be careful because children can find anything online. Another negative thing is that people spend a lot of time on the internet. Many of us spend hours and hours every day on the computer. We should spend more time outside, but we don't. We're addicted to the internet. One other negative effect of the internet is that our relationships can get worse. Now, it's less common to talk to people in person. We usually talk to people online. This means that many children don't learn good communication skills. And sometimes people can get in arguments online. People often argue on Facebook or other social media apps. All right, let me teach you a few vocabulary words relating to the internet. We use the phrase log in or log into when we enter into an account like Facebook, and we use the phrase log out when we exit. So, you can say, I logged into Facebook or I logged out of Facebook. Now, let's look at the word username. This is the name that you use to log into an account. You use your username and password to log in. For example, my username is EnglishTeacher123. Lastly, let's look at the word browser. A browser is what you use to open web pages. Some examples of browsers are Safari and Google Chrome. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you some questions about the video to see if you understood. Write your answers in a comment down below. Number 1. When was the World Wide Web invented? Number 2. What is one app you can use to talk to people far away? And number 3. What is one negative effect of the internet? Alright, remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram for more English tips and lessons. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Okay, today we're gonna talk about some of my favorite things. We all like talking about things we like, and I wanted to make a video about some things that I like. So first, I want to talk about my favorite dessert. This is a really hard one for me to choose. I love a lot of desserts, and so it's hard for me to decide which one is my favorite. But I think that right now, my favorite dessert is homemade chocolate chip cookies. Notice that I said homemade. There's a big difference between homemade cookies and cookies you buy from the store. In my opinion, homemade cookies are much, much better than other cookies. And the perfect homemade cookie is the chocolate chip cookie. In the US, it's really common for families to make this dessert together. Usually, children help their parents prepare and bake these cookies. It's a fun activity for the family, and the result is delicious. Okay, next, let me tell you about my favorite month of the year. This is another hard one, but I think that my favorite month is April. The reason is because I really like sunshine and long days. In April, winter is finally over, the days get longer, and the weather gets warmer. I don't have to worry about cold weather or rain. This is perfect for me. Okay, how about my favorite sport? My answer to this question has changed many times in my life. When I was a young kid, my favorite sport was basketball. I was a big fan of the Los Angeles Lakers, and I played basketball on many teams. After that, my favorite sport was football, and I really liked the Seattle Seahawks for many years. Then, my favorite sport became soccer, and I started watching it a lot. But now, I don't know if I have a favorite sport. I don't really watch sports anymore, so it's hard to say. But I want to mention my favorite sport to play. I've played many sports in my life, but the funnest one for me is golf. In my opinion, it's the most challenging sport. It's really hard, but once you start to get better, it's really fun. Alright, lastly, let me talk about my favorite language that I've studied. I like all the languages that I've learned, but the funnest one for me to study is Greek. The main reason why is because Greek has a different alphabet. I love the challenge of learning a completely new system. It's really cool to see Greek writing and be able to read it and understand it. I also really like the sound of the language. It's a beautiful language and it feels good to speak it. Currently, I don't study this language, so I've forgotten almost everything, but I'll definitely start learning it again in the future. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. I also did a podcast episode about this topic, so you can listen to that if you want to hear more. Before you go, remember to download the Listening Time podcast and become a member at patreon.com/listeningtime to receive my specialized training to help you understand native speakers. And if you want to reach an advanced level of listening, then become a Listening Time family member to receive my advanced podcast episodes. Also, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to train your listening and comprehension as I speak. You ready? So, today I'm going to talk about language learning. If you're watching this video, you're probably learning English, so I hope this is an interesting topic for you. Language learning is hard, and if you learn a language, you need to spend a lot of time studying. This is the most important part of learning a language. Time. If you don't spend a lot of time studying, you won't learn English. Language learning takes time. I am a language teacher, but I'm also a language learner. I learn languages because it's fun for me, and I love talking to people from other countries. This is the best part about learning another language. You can talk to many people and make new friends. I talk to people from many different countries. This is the fun part of learning languages. But language learning is not easy. Sometimes I get sad or frustrated when I can't understand somebody. I also get nervous when I talk to people in other languages. But that's okay. It's normal to get sad or frustrated or nervous when you learn another language. This is normal. Sometimes I make big mistakes when I'm speaking other languages. I make mistakes with grammar, with vocabulary, and with pronunciation. But this is normal. Everybody makes mistakes when they speak other languages. If you don't make mistakes, you won't improve. To improve, to get better, you need to make mistakes. You need to talk, you need to practice, you need to have fun. So, don't worry about your mistakes. Have fun with English. If you don't have fun, it is harder to learn English. So, here are some tips to have fun with English. Number 1. Read books in English that are interesting for you. Don't read boring books. Find books that you like. For example, if you like sports, read books in English about sports. If you like animals, read books in English about animals. And if you like technology,